and welcome to Ask the Hair Doctor. I'm Lisa Akbari, your host, and today we are going to continue the book, Black Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair. And I've got so much to talk about. I'm just so excited. I'm Lisa Akbari, and as you know, I'm your hair doctor. And I've got my little scrunchie on. I always try to start out with just doing something to my hair. So if you have a favorite, or if you have something you want to see if I can do with my hair, then please let me know. So I just have my scrunchie on and I have my little headband there. But we're going to talk about the book, the book. And you know what? I got some encouragement this week because I had someone to say to me that they were excited about me doing this on the mind. So that's pretty cool. So we want to start with our chapter. Can we talk? I don't know if you can read that right there. Can we talk? Because really that's what we need to do. We need to talk. But before we do that, I'm going to do some things with my hair because no one knows where everybody's loading up and logging in and getting ready. Tell a friend that we are on live and get your questions ready so that I can answer them. But we're going to talk, but I'm going to do some things with my hair. But I'm also going to make sure that I can get over and see the chat. Let's see here. Going up. So we are ready. Let's see if we're live there. It's with my hair. Yeah. But I'm also going to make sure that I can get over and see the chat. Let's see here. We are. Going up. So we are ready. Let's see if we're live there. We are live. It's with my hair. Yeah. But I'm also going to make sure that I can get over and see the chat. Let's see here. We are. Going up. So we are ready. I'll turn that down, but you can still hear me on this end. There we go. Okay, guys, so get ready to chat. Ask me questions. Just tell me if you have a question for me. But yes, while everyone's loading on, I am going to just do some things with my hair. I want to pull this over because, again, I can't seem to get my chat box to show up on my screen. And, of course, that may be me, so we'll see. But if you're on and you can chat, just let me know that you can hear me. That will be super. And let's just get rid of this because I am not supposed to have my phone on. Okay. All right. So we're ready. Okay, great. All right. So it's been a long day. And right before I come on and do the blog, I always like to do something with my hair to start out. So right now, I have my headband and my scrunchie, as I said earlier. So I'm going to take my scrunchie off, and I'm going to lift this up because I'm going to do something a little different today. And I don't have this kind of gives that really super hawk look. That's wonderful. I love it. Okay. And we're just going to play with it. And this is just what I'm doing until you guys get logged on because we're getting few people. Because I've been so messy with everything getting logged on. So I know you guys are wondering, she's probably not even on yet. But I'm here. And I was on time today, believe it or not. So I'm your hair doctor, and we're going to have a great time. So I wanted to do a big afro puff, just to show you. I had my headband on and my scrunchie. So I took the scrunchie off, and if you can't hear me, please let me know. If you can hear me, you can't tell me if you can't hear me, but if you can hear me, please chat and just say, hey, we can hear you loud and clear. That would be great. I would appreciate anyone saying that. If you only have one person logged in right now, but if you could if you're near a computer, that would be super duper. Okay. Okay, so that's my one style. I kind of like that one. I may keep it like that, but we are going to get to the book, and I'm going to answer some questions today. And I am going to talk about some things, some cool things we got coming up. But I want to just, yeah, my fro. My hair is getting so incredibly long that it's harder to really get it to do anything that's on the top of my head. Gravity wants to say, ooh, we're too long, too heavy. Okay, so this is my fro, my Afro puff. Back in the day, we did those, and I see a lot of young girls with this now. So I think it makes me look a little young. What do you guys think? Cool. Okay, so this is one that you can wear that's really super easy. And then I'm going to take my headband off, of course, and I may just go back to this, um, bringing it off. I'm wearing my collar pop, and those of you who've been around a long time with me, you know I like wearing my collar pop. And then I'm going to just see if I can get kind of a bob look with my fro. So I'm going to bring it forward this way. So I'm going to get kind of an angle fro bob, because most of the times you guys don't think that you can do cool things with your fro. So I'm going to get an angle bob where it just kind of creates this fro, but it angles to the front. See, at a slant. Can you see that? Is that cool or what? Yeah, so you can do that, but you just basically, you gotta have a hydrated and healthy fro so you can move it around. See the angle? So I can wear my collar, high collar, because I really like doing that. And also when I wear my lab coats at work, it works well for me as well. So this is another look. What do you guys think about that? If you're not on yet and this is archived and you see it later, please let me know, because I think it's pretty cool. So then you do what we did back in the day. We kind of pat our fro, and that's kind of cool. All right, and then I'm going to do one more, and then we'll be ready for the book. So you can see the angle, the nice angle here, and the fan almost. Pretty good. Now I'm going to do another one. I'm going to bring this forward, which is really kind of my favorite thing to do. And you're loving your hair into place. I'm just being really careful. And then I'm going to take the hair, and this is something I call French lacing. And it's just where you just take it and you're not teasing the hair, because sometimes people will go tease. What that does is rough up the cuticle. So I'm going to grab the hair, the length, pull it forward, and then I'm just going to separate the hair so that I can get some crown hair, some volume in my crown, the top of my head. And then I'm going to leave this forward, and I'm going to bring it across the forehead, because you guys know that is also one of my favorite things to do with my hair. And those of you who are just logging in, you can kind of check this out later, because this is my third style that I've done since we've logged in. And it's only been a few minutes, about 8 minutes. Excuse me, my voice is leaving. Okay, so now I have still the angle bob, and I have like the faux bangs, the little bangs, more than a wisp of hair. And so this is another pretty cute thing. And I could actually do a number 4 look. So then I can take this part and I can go behind the ears, which gives me still that angle, but behind the ears. And see, what I'm doing is I'm showing you all these things that we do with straight hair and cuts with straight hair, but you can do it with your fro. And the great thing is you don't have to worry about it, because your fro just pretty much stays in place. You just kind of lift and move it around, but you have to have healthy hair, and that's what we want. So my ear is out and showing my earring, and here. So what do you guys think? You're logged in. No one's chatting with me yet. There's only a few of you guys online, but still you're there. Okay, so that's pretty cool as well. But you know what my favorite was? My favorite was the crown Afro puff. So I'm going to go back to that one. So these are the 3. And yeah, you could give it a little more volume and then bring it behind the ear. Pretty cool. Now let's move back a little bit so I can have a little more light. Yeah. So now what I'm going to do is put it back in the fro, and then we'll be ready to talk about the book. I like it. It said, I like it and I will be trying it. Super duper. Yay. And please send me a picture, Lisa@lisaakberry.com, so I can post it and see what you've done with your hair. And what I'm really trying to get at, folks, is I'm just, and I say ladies, but there may be some guys too, but I'm trying to get to the point where we really trust our hair in that we don't have to bully it into a style. We can just manipulate it and move it around. And I don't have oily hands. I have nice hydrated fingers, nice hydrated. My hair is nice and hydrated. I'm not sleeping on my pillow and getting product everywhere. And I have products, and some people will overuse, and some people are in stabilization, meaning they have a lot of problems with their hair. They tend to, let's change, right? They tend to have a lot more challenges with, they need more product because it'll dissipate, because the cuticle layer is so open and torn that their porosity is very poor, so they can't hold product. Okay, so this is what we did the very first, and you can see my little scrunchie is wearing, we'll just tuck that, there we go. And then I'm going to move it up high because I want my fro to stay up high. So then I take my scrunchie and loose, and then it's going to already be in the crown because I've got my band. See how high up? And then I'm just going to let it fall a little bit, but I'm really going to try to keep that big afro puff in the top of my head. Now, guys, this was right before your eyes, so it's not like this is hard. So often we just we think that our hair just won't do all these wonderful things. So here we are, and there it is. There it is. We have now a nice little fro, and I think I'm going to leave it this way because I love, like I said, if you've been around for any time, I love my color pop. So we're going to get to the book. The book, the book, the book, the book. I'm Lisa Akbari, and I'm your hair doctor, and we were on the mind. The book is in several parts, and first part is the mind, then we have the scalp, and then the hair. Most want to go right to the hair or right to the scalp, but I always think about the mind. And I did get a compliment this week saying that that you guys were great with me starting with the mind, and I was excited about that because I felt really kind of bad because I felt some people were just not listening to me. Why I felt that, I don't know, but you're listening. Thank you. Mwah. Okay, if you're just tuning in, then you will see the styles in the beginning because this video will be archived. I also want to tell you about something. You can look on it's some of the newer videos that I just did. I talked about an event that I'm having, and if this is dated and you're seeing it after March 12th, I'm going to have a live streaming, and so of the video of the untold story, hairstyles that are just gone bad, weave, wigs, braids, locks. Oh my goodness, so many things, even relaxers. We're going to talk about why women lose hair and that untold story. And I'm going to have PowerPoint presentations. I'm really excited about it. If you're in Memphis, Tennessee area, be here March the 12th. We can seat over 100 people in our institute, in our seminar area. So be here. If you can't get to Memphis, then we'll be streaming live from my website, lisaakberry.com, or it will be at my YouTube page. So no worries, you're going to get there. Okay. All right. So with that, we're going to get to the book. And also for professionals, I don't want to leave that out. That's on the 12th, this Saturday. And I know I'm dating the video by doing this, but I don't care because I want to make sure you get the date right. And you can also email me, lisa@lisaakberry.com. If it's before March 12th, 2016, you can email me and I'll send you a flyer. If it's after that, I'll send you a link so you don't have to look through my over 200 videos to find it. Also, I'm doing something for professionals. The thing for professionals, I'm so excited about that because professionals really need this as well. So it's titled Help to stop your clients balding and thinning. So that's something that's really cool. I was at a meeting a few weeks ago, and one of the things that I found is that professionals came up to me and said, "Hey, listen, I want to understand how to stop my clients from losing hair." And so I'm doing that for them. So this is Women's History Month. And so I'm going to do a video, a seminar that's going to stream live. It's March the 12th from 2 to 4. And I'm going to do one that'll stream live for professionals on March 14th, that's Monday. The other one's a Saturday. And that's going to be from 11 to 1. So pretty cool. I'm excited. All right. So I'll try to remember to put information about it below. All right. We're on the book. Now, the chapter, we're on the mind, still the section, and it's Can We Talk? Can we talk? Make sure you get ready to chat. If you have a question about something that I'm reading about, or you have a question in general question, I'll be happy to answer those. Okay, so can we talk? You may be surprised at some of the things that we have listed. We listed a number of things like it is her fault, and she's the licensed one. We talked about how you blame your stylist. It's her fault. Well, stylists will have a part of the responsibility if you lose hair or if you have hair breakage. She could be a part of it, but the biggest is you. Whenever something happens with your hair or scalp, it's either because you allowed it to happen or you directly caused it to happen. Now, you may say, I allowed it, but here it was said that it is her fault. She is the one with the license. So that is true. You're paying someone, you expect the service. But you got to keep in mind, you have to be assertive. Don't be passive, and definitely don't be aggressive, and surely not passive aggressive. You want to assert yourself into every situation, asking questions and waiting for complete answers. And the next one was, I know that she is young, but I put the perm in her hair because I could not comb her hair. It was so, and she used the N word, nappy. Oh, a lot of times we will do things to our daughter's hair, like relax it. But nowadays it's really gotten different. Kids are not wanting those relaxers, and parents are not putting them in there. Okay, let's see. It says March 12th, Saturday to. Okay, oh, good. Someone put down. Oh, Nisi. Thank you, Nisi. Cool, cool, cool. She's given information about when the event will be. Okay, so if you're on the chat board, you can see it. All right, so when we do things to our daughters' hair, we're really teaching them about their hair. So we can say that, oh, is it wrong for me to relax her hair? No, it's not. Is it wrong for her? Should she wear hair natural only? No, not necessarily. What you want to do is you want to make sure you educate yourself first because you're the responsible party. And then you want to choose a stylist that's willing to work with your child's personality, not just her hair, but then also her hair. And then you want to monitor it. Don't just drop offs. Make sure you monitor it, ask the questions, wait for the answers, and then you'll be fine. So that was number 41. Number 42, my hair is thick and nothing will hurt it. I see so many ladies in my analysis room with crying. We have a clinics box. We have to keep there because they're sad and upset because of their hair. You have to stay assertive as it relates to your hair. Even though your hair is coarse, there's something that happens to the hair called a texture change. If you have strands in there thinning, that could mean that the strand itself has been overexposed. Now you say, well, I have natural hair. Why is it overexposed? Well, it can be overexposed because that strand is overexposed to detangling, brushing, those kinds of things is really, really important because if you overexpose, if you're detangling, okay, we have to go through a detangling session. You may be creating microscopic tears along the actual hair shaft, causing poor elasticity. When that elasticity becomes poor, then the hair will break. So even though your hair is coarse, you could go from coarse hair to medium hair to fine hair and even to thin. Thin is not a texture. It is hair that is lifeless, that has lost all its cuticle and breaks very, very easily. Okay, we're piling up the questions here. So as I read, I'm going to go on and go back and look at some of these questions. What is your opinion of coconut oil pre-poo treatments? Now, what you mean coconut oil as a pre-poo? Coconut oil and olive oil penetrate the hair shaft and prevent protein loss. Well, anytime you put an oil on your hair, it is definitely going to seal. So it will seal in, it won't prevent protein loss. It will seal in hydration. Anything that's on the hair, it'll seal that. So think about it. If you pre-poo your hair, you're not actually shampooing. If you pre-poo, if you're doing that so that it's easier to clean, then that might give you a little slick on the hair. So it helps with the hair to not be as tangled, but it's really going to cover up and seal all of the pollutants, the environmental pollutants, which is just dust, dirt, and debris. It's going to seal in cosmetic pollutants, all the hair products you put on for the week or the few days, and it's going to seal in scalp pollutants, which is just dead skin cell. So if you're going to pre-poo, you want to pre-poo with something that's going to help to break up pollutants. Now, I know that's a little different, but we have to ask ourselves, why are we pre-pooing? Pre-pooing? Oh, funny. Anyways, why are we pre-pooing in the first place? What are our goals? If our goal is to detangle, and so just kind of chat me back on that one, and I'm going to come back to that question again. What's your goal with the pre-poo? What are you trying to achieve when you say coconut oil and pre-poo as a pre-poo treatment? What is your goal? Okay, then I'll go to the next one and I'll double back to you. Okay, some questions. Okay. Is dry shampoo, I think you're saying shampoo, good for the scalp? Should you always use a clarifying shampoo every time you shampoo? Dry shampoo, if you're speaking of the powder dry shampoo, it's bad for the scalp because it's not going to clean. It's not really a shampoo. Let me tell you why dry shampoos came along. If you're speaking of truly dry shampoo, it's generally a powder. The old school one is a powder. And it came along because of women with straight oily hair. And when they couldn't get to water or they weren't comfortable, then they would put the powder on. It would absorb some of the oil. So it would not clean the hair, but it would just keep it from looking so oily. Now, should you clarify every time you shampoo? Then yes, but you have to be careful because not all shampoos are equal. You want to make sure you have a pH, the pH of 4.5 to 5.5, and you want to make sure that that shampoo is cleaning, but it's not stripping, and the pH will help you with that. Mild cleansing agents, it's going to be mildly acidic if it's at 4.5 to 5.5. So you're not going to worry about it. Stripping the hair is going to remove what's natural and unnatural. Clarifying, staying with that pH generally will keep you mildly acidic. It'll be a lot gentler on the cuticle, but you need cleansers to clean. You're truly not cleaning if you don't have them. Okay, it says, I want to make sure I stay down with the questions listed. Any recommendations for diets that help fight hair loss? And I think you really mentioned this before, and I don't think I gave you a great answer. When you think about, now, if you're speaking of, this is a certain diet, I'm not familiar with this one. I thought you were speaking of a scalp fungus when you spoke before to me. But anyway, just make you clear, any diet that you recommend to keep away from. Let me just say this with you. We want to look at a couple of things. I was just looking at things that, and I'm teaching a trichology course, and I'm researching all the time. And I'm looking at our body and how wonderfully God made our body. It's just wonderful. And how our endocrine system, our pancreas, all those glands, those endocrine glands, you think about problems that we have like diabetes and all these autoimmune diseases. And that comes from what we actually put in our mouth, our hair loss. And what I'm teaching my students is how it can relate to hair loss because we can't ignore it. I spend a lot of time on external follicular hair loss, like what we do to our scalp and what do we do to our strands and how that causes hair loss. But I don't spend a tremendous amount of time on what we're putting in our mouth. And I do that by design because what happens, we have people who are working out and they're taking all these vitamins and they're doing all these things and they're vegans, but they're not taking care of this surface. So they'll have healthy hair growing from the scalp, but they end up with problems with their scalp and their body systems. They're not, they're, oh, I'm sorry. Their body, they're taking care of the body and they're doing things, but they're not doing things to the scalp. They're working out, they're sweating, they're leaving this waste and salt on their scalp, and they're having these problems. I'm getting so many questions. I'm getting a little distracted. So, guys, forgive me. So, I'm going to go back and I'm going to get right over here so I can make sure I get the questions in. So, do you suggest? So, when it relates to diet, I'm a vegan. I believe in a vegan lifestyle. So it's just important because then I know that I'm getting nice, clean food. I'm um, I'm trying to do as much organic as possible. It's just really what you put in your body and my stress. I'm trying to manage my stress. I'm working out. So it's a combination of things. It's not just one thing. And you really want to look at, you can go to some of the whole body type stores that will, like Whole Foods is one, and speak with the whole body section, and they can help you with things that help you to keep your body balanced. When you're not balanced, you're going to have problems later on. Will it cause problems with your scalp as well as your hair? Absolutely, it could, but it takes a period of time. And keep in mind, it would be your nails, hair, and skin. So you got to watch your nails as well as your skin, not just your hair, because some things that are happening with your hair may just be external. Keep that in mind. All right. All right. So I hope I answered that with you. I just don't want to get into saying, hey, this is your diet. Stay away from this. I would say stay away from fried foods. I would say stay away from meat. But in my book, Every Woman, this is great. We're going to do that book next. But Every Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair. This is Black Woman's Guide. But Every Woman's Guide to Beautiful Hair, we talk a lot about ways you can have some vegan options with your foods that help to supplements and vitamins and minerals that help that you can get through your food, and some things that you can get through your supplementary, because some things you're not going to get through your food. So that'll help as well. So just get my book, Every Woman's Guide, and I think it'll really help you a lot. And then you go in, because I remember trying to go with a dietitian and what she thought, and I'm vegan, and I didn't like anything that she put together. So it was really good for me to know what's good and what's bad, and then and then from there, just choose foods that I like. Okay. Now let's see. Okay. It says, do you suggest that us as African Americans use sulfur free? Um, I don't want to use, and are you saying sulfate or sulfur? If you're saying like sulfur, like the sulfur that we used in our products that we put on our scalp and our hair, I just want some clarity on that just to be sure. But I think that the sulfur itself is really dense. It tends to not to be removed quickly from the hair. If you're speaking of sulfates, you have to be careful that the pH is at a level that's going to be mildly acidic, and you should be fine. But you want to, let's see if they may have clarified that. Shampoo, oh, sulfate. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to, I don't have a problem with it. Now, I did work with removing it from my shampoos because you guys went, you were like, okay, it's going to cause this problem and that problem. But my chemist and I really sat down and we looked at it. And it's really not, as long as you have a mild cleansing agent, then you're fine. But if you can use it, if you can make products and not have those ingredients, then why not? If it makes your buyer happy. But if you asking me, will it harm the hair? I don't. There are some high detergents that really cheap, really just high detergents. Then yeah, with high pH, then they may dehydrate. But the main thing is your shampoo is designed to clean. It's to truly clean the hair. And I know I'll get some criticism from this because everybody's out there just saying, hey, listen, I just really want to be natural. And I understand that. But there's some man-made items that you're going to use to make up a shampoo. And I found that early, well, not early in my career, but many years ago, I found that many of the people that I would meet and talk about hair, they would say things like, I really just rinse my hair with an ash rinse, or so they would come up with all these herbs, and they just weren't getting clean, and they couldn't understand why their hair was so dry. Well, most of the um, vegan type things you would use on your hair may be more acidic, but they're going to be drying. You need a balance here. You have to have, the hair is pretty simple. Think about it. Hair is just dead keratinized cells. So when your hair is, if you have a balance of protein and moisture, you're going to keep the hair stable. And if you can keep the hair stable, then you're going to find that your hair is going to have the body, it's going to have the movement. Your hair is going to do really well. It's going to style, it's going to do whatever you want it to do. And it's just going to have more life. So I just wouldn't worry about that. Now, I think we've asked a couple of questions about fungus. Now, keep in mind, when you have a fungus, you really need to um, go to your doctor. There's some natural treatments for it. A jojoba oil is not a treatment that is going to help you with fungus. A jojoba oil is like skin oil. It's wonderful in sealing, but it also helps to work very well. Even if you had oily hair, it kind of balances your oils. It's the closest that you can get to skin oil, but you don't want to treat it for fungus. There's some other oils that are more antifungal, antibacteria, but I would suggest, if you have a fungal problem, to see your dermatologist. Sometimes we have to, and I won't say 100% have to, because it's up to you. The meds, if you're inflamed, if you have a full-blown flare up, you don't want to make yourself physically sick. So you want to get the meds if you need to. Once they're stable, then you start doing things correctly and do the natural. Now, I'm not telling you can't go research, look for like tea tree, wonderful herbal topical antibiotic. It helps. But if you are not careful, then you can burn your scalp. You have to know what you're doing. I don't treat fungus in my clinic. I work with dermatologists, and I'm all about the natural treatments. But I highly recommend that you see a dermatologist if there's a fungal problem, and not try to treat it yourself at home. Okay, let's see. We got everything. Let's see. What else is clarifying chamber things? Yeah. All right. So I'm really concerned. Let's see here. I think we've got everybody's question in. If you have another one, please. Uh, have you heard of argan rain, argan oil? I heard about it all the time. I hear about it all the time from commentators or come on YouTube. Okay. Is the company fake, and does their shampoo work to help hair loss? Can I tell you something about hair loss? Hair loss, and that's why I want you to make sure you tune in to, and I don't have my readers on, you see me squinting. um, Let me tell you about hair loss. That's why I want you to tune in on, and if it's, like I said, if it's past the date when you see this video, then you want to make sure you look at the archive. But on March the 12th, I'm going to have a seminar on this very thing. There are two categories of hair loss. There's external and internal. External follicular loss deals with things that happen on the surface of the scalp around the mouth of the follicle. Internal deals with things that happen, or disorders or malfunctions in the internal portion of the follicle where the hair is produced, where it actually grows, the true hair, the true skin. Once that hair has emerged from the scalp, then that hair is dead keratinized cells. So we have to determine if your hairs per square inch have decreased in numbers. That means you're seeing bald spots. Then we have to microscopically view your scalp to determine if there are blockages around the mouth of the follicle, or if there are characteristics along those smaller hairs, because you'll have some smaller hairs as a follicle. If it's going to malfunction, it'll change from a transition hair to a villus hair to nail hair. So it'll change. So So we'll look for those things. And then when we determine if this is a follicle that's malfunctioning, then we make the appropriate recommendation as a trichologist. That's what I would do. And at that point, it would most likely be an endocrinologist, because an endocrinologist will be able to do a hormonal workup. They'll be able to check with autoimmune diseases, things that are going on with the body systems that could cause the hair loss internally. If it's external, then that's something a trichologist could treat, such as myself, and that's what I would do. I would make recommendations based on that analysis, take you through stabilization, maintenance, and prevention. But as it relates to these companies that say that they can put product on top of your scalp that's going to prevent hair loss or treat hair loss, it's just not totally true. There's a combination of things. Like, I have scalp treatments, and I'll say a level 6i. That will help. It has an anti-itch. It also has oils that stimulate the follicle. Well, it doesn't mean it's going to grow your hair. If we don't have a follicle there, or if we have a follicle that's a internal follicular problem, then what you put on the surface won't help. You can stimulate. We have light therapy that stimulates circulation. It stimulates interfollicular activity. I mean, all of that proliferation and differentiation. When you stimulate blood circulation, you're going to stimulate that, but very little. So if that follicle is malfunctioning, it's malfunctioning for a reason. So you need the proper examination. First, you get in the mirror, you notice whether my hair, okay, there's a density change, or is this something that's happening with my strand itself? Is my strand getting thinner, or the hairs per square inch, are they thinner, less in numbers? Then if they're less in numbers, then that you see a trichologist. Once you see a trichologist, make sure that they're using a handheld microscope. And that handheld microscope is going to show us the follicle blockages or actually density changes. Then we move on to the next practitioner if necessary. Or if you can be treated there, we treat it there. We got more comments below. Let's take a look. Okay, so I'm hoping that that's helping you guys. Give me a little feedback. Tell me if I'm being too vague. I just don't want to lie to you. You know, sometimes I listen to some of the blogs, and there are areas, and I tell my students, you know, there are things that you will know, and there are things that you will partner with practitioners. It's almost like a podiatrist trying to be a cardiologist. It's just not going to happen. I have to stay in my lane, and I teach my students. That's what I was about to say earlier. You get more respect from individuals in the medical field as a trichologist. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm a trichologist. I study hair, its diseases, its disorders. You have endocrinologists who deal with the endocrine glands and all of those different autoimmune diseases, and that could cause problems with hair loss, some of the medication. And then you have your dermatologists who will deal with, they're able to do biopsies on the follicle, send to check for fungus, send the samples to the pathologist. Those things are valuable for you, and they're available for you. So it's really important that we do that. Okay, guys? All right, do we want to get back to the book? The book? The book? The book? The book? Or do you want to get some more questions? Okay, all right, let's see. I think we're going to go back to the book for just a minute. Okay, here we are. Okay, so now, you guys gave me a ton of questions. Is that because you don't want to hear me read? Okay, here we go. I'm just going to go through this. It says, you may be surprised at some of the things that we've just said and I've listed, or you may not think that many of these things are negative. A lot of these things are negative. They're indirect. Anything that's negative has a potential for harm. That means that we're learning incorrectly. It's just like some of the questions that you're asking. You mentioned some things on the webs, on different YouTube pages and websites, and you're saying that, hey, you know what? Someone told me this, and I just wondered if it was true. Well, you have to be careful. That's something that I call negative. It has the potential for harm. Well, no matter what you think, when you read my list, and you'll have a list of, it's 55 of them, you will have to keep in mind, you may say that you may just be kidding or saying that these things are harmless. Well, no matter what you think, when you read the list, I can assure you that these things are negative and they can cause harm. You should think about them and shouldn't let them pass through your lips. You should never say things in the presence of a child like you have bad hair or she has the N word. And again, I have to be really careful with the N word. Like back in the day, the N word when it comes to nappy was a bad thing. I mean, you just didn't call anyone, didn't say nappy hair. But I mean, I have people now. As I do my surfing on the internet, I look and there's sites that are called nappy hair and they're proud of it. So it doesn't mean that we're not proud of our hair. It's just that just had a negative feel to it when people said it to you, that it was just negative. So if it's negative to your child and you just don't want to say it, so we can find kinky or extra curly. And I know some of you say, well, my hair is not extra curly. My hair is the N word. But it's really, we just want to think about it. Okay, guys, we just want to stay positive. That is not our biggest problem. It's just the things we do. Okay, you may say these things are not negative. I can easily prove this to you that 50% of statements or phrases that I've just listed are negative. Let's talk about a few of them, starting with number 19. What was number 19? Okay, it says, I don't know why God gave me this kind of hair. That is truly negative. What if someone said that to you or your child? I don't know why God gave you this kind of hair. A statement like that will truly offend you. How about number 25? I can't shampoo my hair because I'm too busy. Well, making excuses about why you can't shampoo your hair will lead to more excuses and then lead to your hair and scalp not having the care it needs. Then it will eventually, you will have hair and scalp problems. So keep that in mind. Now let's take a look at number 39. Okay. I don't do anything to my hair. I just go to the salon and let my stylist take care of my hair. Now that is kind of an old school one because a lot of ladies, especially with our revolution to natural hair, we're doing a whole lot of things at home. So I have to be careful what you guys are doing at home. So we no worries. We just have to really be careful and pay attention. I want to make sure if I've missed your question, please just retype it, cut and paste it and move it down because I'm sorry because it was several of them at one time. And thank you guys for your questions. I love it, love it, love it. Okay, it says, if you don't, it's good to have a good relationship with your stylist. I think it's wonderful to have a relationship because, she's a professional and there's styles she can do that you cannot do. So that's pretty cool that you have that relationship. But with that being said, it's also important that you don't rely solely on your stylist because when you do that, you're going to have a problem with becoming very salon dependent, very stylist dependent. But again, this is probably a little dated because you guys are doing so many things yourself with your natural hair. So I'm going to move on. Now I want to do this. And last, let's take a look at number 52. That's the one I didn't really get to. It says all shampoos are the same. So I will just get whatever is on sale at the store. I don't think we're doing that anymore. And then a lot of people are doing things like making their own shampoo. Be careful with that. Not all shampoos are the same. I don't think we have to make our own product. I think that we can look for companies, and I understand it's hard. And I know where there's a natural movement and everybody wants to do everything natural. But you know what my rules are with raw material when I work with my chemists? One of the things that I look for is that it's not toxic to the system environment. It's not an irritant. It won't irritate the skin. It's not harmful to the environment, or definitely wouldn't test it on animals. I look at how it makes the hair and scalp look once it's touched, like certain raw material. What happens under the microscope with this strand when this is put on it? Also, I look at research. I do look at some of the things that have been FDA approved, but some studies show that they are bad for the body. So I do look at that. And I know over a period of time, it could be a delayed reaction, and it could be over a period of time, it could cause you problems. And that's what happens with our food. We eat something, and unless it's really toxic, our body won't throw it up or we won't die from it, but it's a slow death. And I understand that's what we feel about things we put on our scalp, and I respect and love you for that. And I do consider that. That's why I want to make sure that if there's any studies that say, oh, this is really bad for the hair, I just take it out or I just won't put it in when I'm coming up with new things. So I understand exactly what you guys are saying, but be careful with making your own shampoos, all right? Okay, we want to okay, let's skip the last part to just get other questions. Does anyone else have any other questions? Because we want to get to reconditioning our mind, think in a certain way. If you think about your hair and you want your hair better, and this whole part on the mind is perfect because if we really look at what we're doing here with these questions, we really are asking questions about our hair because we're thinking a certain way. And so listening to this, becoming educated on what's going on with your hair and scalp, understanding more about your hair, understanding more about how your regiment, I think we should focus on that. We're trying to find this miracle product that we can dump on our head that can make our hair all better. But really, it's more than that. The product is one part of it, like our shampoo is a part of it, our conditioners are a part of it, but really how we handle our hair, how we manage our hair, what kind of environment we keep our hair and scalp in. And let me just give you something that you can do. It's a great takeaway. As it relates to your scalp, you want to make sure that you keep your scalp in a number one, a clean, number two, acidic, number three, uh, stimulated, hydrated, number four, environment. You want to keep your scalp clean. Why do you need to keep your scalp clean? Because there's something called a renewing process that occurs on the skin. The skin, the epidermis is the top skin, our sentinel. The skin on the top, it protects the delicate tissue underneath. So your epidermis needs to stay in a certain environment. So as the dermis pushes up those cells, the epidermis can shed off the cells. Well, if we don't clean our scalp, if we're just no pooing, just because we're trying to keep our hair soft, if we don't clean our scalp, then we're going to have a problem with a polluted scalp. Itchy scalp, a house, an mansion for pathogens, disease-causing bacteria. So we can have all kinds of problems by not having a clean scalp. And then we want to have acidic. Our skin is more acidic in reaction. It's also our hair is because of the acid mantle that secretes from our scalp. Well, if we can keep that pH within that environment with our cleansing agents, then we're going to find that we're going to have a wonderful experience with shampooing. When I shampoo my hair is not dry. And I use a shampoo with cleansers. So I'm just saying to you, it's very important that we keep a clean, acidic pH 4.5 to 5.5, which is the pH of the hair, hydrated environment, making sure that we don't use overheated dryers. Like some of you guys who go out and get those rod sets, you sit under those overheated dryers for hours. Some of you guys who keep a dirty environment, that causes a problem with your scalp dehydrating. So we have to think about what are we doing? Stimulated. When we shampoo, we want to make sure we're massaging, pressure, not scratching, and not using shampoo brushes. So we want a stimulated environment. It helps to increase circulation. So it helps with the renewing process. So that clean, acidic, stimulated, hydrated environment is crucial. Next, we want to make sure that we have a balance with our hair and with our scalp, but with our hair. How do we get hair that has body, that has good elasticity, that's hydrated, that doesn't break, and it's kinky? And we can wear a fro. We don't have to wear protective styles. How do we do that? By balancing the protein and moisture levels within the hair and scalp. The hair strand. So your hair is mostly composed of protein and it needs moisture for balance. So it needs moisture to hydrate. So it's going to be really crucial that we do that, guys. Now, I've gotten way off when it comes to the book, but we have read plenty And I am just going to end the video if there are no more questions, because I think we're up to 7 people. So I'm going to end the video with how we started. I'm going to do my hairstyle again, and I'm going to show you guys who missed it. You'll get to see it at the top of the video, but so you don't have to go back. And you know what? I'm going to show you also what I did with, I think, yes, because I've already done the other. I'm going to show you what I do when I dress my hair for bed. And I don't have, let's see, do I have any product? If you're wondering, how do I really care for my hair? You see how my hair just moves around for me? I don't have any problems with it. When I dress my hair for bed, I'm going to use 1 or 2 items because my hair is healthy. Oops, I don't want the phone. Okay. I use my hair vitamin, which is my leave-in conditioner I absolutely love. Or I'll use my souffle or my naturally textured, but I'm going to say hair vitamin. And I'm just going to show you what I do. And this just takes no time. I'm going to put a little bit in my hand. It's wonderful, good stuff. And I'm going to take it. Anytime you work with your hair, you always want to work with your ends first. So you just can just kind of scrunch through. Put it on your ends. And you want to make sure, and sometimes you'll hear me say start with, like, see how it'll just get more product as it's pretty concentrated. You'll see me say, you hear me say things like relax your hair. So you want to take and you'll just want to relax your hair. So what you're doing is you're taking your finger in slow motion. It'll be something like this. So you just, it's not something wrong with your video. It's just me going in slow motion. Okay. And what you're doing is you're feeling for any tangles. So after you put your hair vitamin on, I'm going to put just a little bit more on this right side. And we're just going in and we're working with the hair. And I'm loving the hair, seeing what I'm doing with the ends, because I want to make sure I can get into my hair without breaking my hair and playing and pulling at it. And I have to do that detangling. So my hair has been up all day, but I don't have to detangle. So then I want to take it and I want to just kind of crawl with my fingers to part. And then I can open up the hair. And you're going to, when I open it up, you'll see my little white friends down in there. Yeah. Okay. So I usually will take a section in the crown, and this is going to be really important. Actually, it's the upper crown, the front hairline. So I'm going to take this section, and I'm going to make sure that my ends are really smooth. Because really, guys, you know where your hairstyle comes from? It comes from your ends. Keep that in mind. But I'm going to twist. I'm going to do a nice big twist. And I just like to twist. And I don't, instead of, some of you will do a twist like this. What you're doing is you're putting pressure on the hairline. So when you're twisting, you want to always hold your hair back away. So if your arms, you can't stand your arms up. You want to get to a table and you bring your head down to your hands like this. Okay? And I don't have a table in front of me, so I can't demonstrate them up on a little stool. So you're going to bring open your hair. There you go, because you know why? I put my vitamins on my ends so I can open my hair up. That's why it's crucial to put your products on your ends, because when you put your products on your ends, when you try to open, you see how it just slid away? That's important. Okay, so this time I'm going to go on and twist, and then I'm going to tuck. And that's pretty much what I do. And we're going to try to get this done so we won't be an hour. And you see the hair does want to web. See, it wants to stick, but it separates because see how it'll separate? Because there's no tangles there. Because I treated my ends first. I just want to there we go. And so I'm twisting. And then I can lean forward with my hands because I already have my base off base. See, you were off base forward. I'm off base back. And there's no pressure in the back. And I'm really maybe out at a 90. More so than just fully back. So most people who can't twist or pin curl, you can just wrap it around your finger. I wrap, and then you just tuck it in. Here we go. And you've got this nice big puff. And I know you guys don't believe me, but this is really how I go to bed. It's not neat, and I always do an extra little feel here. And it always pulls it loose, and then I'll make the puff even bigger. You know why? Because my style is in my ends. It's not in the scalp hair, because it gives you volume if you leave the scalp hair kind of full. You don't really make it really tight to the scalp. Plus, it's too much traction. So I put a little bit on the ends. And you say, I could go through it. I mean, the finger comb. So you can do that. You see, I got to a little kink. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to take my forefinger and thumb and see what happened when I took my forefinger and thumb. Smoothed it right out. So that, because you're going to kink up. You're going to kink. I'm not saying you're not, but you don't detangle with the comb. Most of you would take a comb and rake, 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 rake. And what you're doing is you're putting microscopic tear, microscopic tear, microscopic tear. Poor elasticity, poor elasticity, poor elasticity. Soon, you don't have the appropriate amount of elasticity that's required to support the strand, so the hair breaks. You got to have elasticity so the hair doesn't break. So I'm doing the same thing, a nice little twist, a nice little twist. And because it's so pretty late, I can keep my hair like this and I don't have to see patients or anyone, even if I go back in my office and do a little work. Twist it. I always just twirl it around my finger. And then I tuck. There's another one, and I always check. So I've got a nice little puff. Same over here. So any questions about this? Who's dressing their hair for bed? Tell me how. Ask me a question before we close out. Everybody's good. Okay, you see what I'm doing. And again, you'll be able to archive this. And I'm just going to go real time. And what I'm doing when I move my hand back, I'm making sure it's not on my hairline. And I always go back and check because, you know, it's perfect because you have the style. You don't have to worry about it. And this is just really the old-fashioned curly fro. I don't have to do any fancy bantu knots and get it all cute and whatever. And if you want to tie it down, you can tie it down. But I basically sleep on a satin pillowcase. And I take the crown. So those of you who wonder, when you see my hair, and you wonder, well, how does she get her hair like that? I mean, what do you do? How many twists? I hear that all the time. Well, how many twists do you make? Well, I make about 6, 7, maximum 8. Twirl, 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 tuck. No, I don't have eyes in the back of my head, but I just feel for it, and I'm probably going to make about 3 back here. See, I've got over here. You can spray it right on there. That's another easy way. And you're twisting. Are braids bad for the hair? Braids are not bad for your hair. Braids are great. They're a great style option. And make sure you tune into the video. Braids are not, but you know what's bad? 2 things. 1, the traction on the braids when there's pulling too much, and the fact that we think braids are 0 maintenance and instead of low maintenance. Braids are a nice, wonderful expression and low maintenance styles. When you wear braids, you have to dress your hair for bed. You have to take care of, and you have to clean your hair. And most people in your scalp, and most people don't do that. You see how I'm feeling to make sure there's no kind of tangle there. Let's see, I've got, okay, and I'm going to go back and show you that in a second. Yeah, so braids are not a bad problem. It's a great style option, but it's part of that whole little group of a good thing that's gone bad. That's where braids are. See, I just tucked that back in there. And I've got one in the back. And we are done. Okay, guys? Yeah. So braids are great. If you email me, I'll send you a braid program with a list of kinds of products that I would recommend for braids. You want to make sure and show you how to shampoo on top of your braids. But see, actually what happens with braids, and I'm just going to say this. First, we've answered the question, braids are not bad. But second, I want you to understand that you have to maintain your braids because you still have hair underneath those braids. And then I'm just going to put this back on. So you have to make sure that if you think about it, if you have added hair with your braids, the added hair is pretty stable. It's going to look good all the time. What starts to look fuzzy is your hair. So that's why it's important to put in your leave-in conditioner and then put in that pretty dense moisturizer and tie it down at night. So you're now hydrated, a little bit of protein. Like this leave-in conditioner is going to give you some protein. So along with hydration. And then a Moisture Plus, like some of you who say, well, I like my hairline to lay flat. Well, then you smear it with your Moisture Plus moisturizer, and then you're good. So your hair will lay flat. And then you just tie it down. So I'm just going to put this on. But do I go to bed with a headband on my head? No, ma'am. No, sir. I do not. And you could tuck those in. But since I'm still in the building, I'm going to do that and have what looks like a rooster poot in the top. So I am good. Good, good. But when I go to bed, I'm just going to take this off and sleep on my satin pillowcase. Okay, guys, it is 7 o'clock. It is time to go. I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. I will see you on Saturday. Oh, we wanted to talk about this little piece here as we go. See you on Saturday. This is a stress point. See that? That is where if you pull, you're going to, instead of taking your finger and thumb, and I do this. This is why I don't have hair down my back, because I'm always conducting these little studies, but it blesses you guys so much. If you pull, you're going to get the hair, the elasticity. No one has the amount of elasticity required to hold this together like this. So you cannot pull. So you want to make sure you saw when I did the finger and thumb, I didn't lose any. When I went straight through it, this is what happened. I broke a piece. And I always tell myself, okay, there goes your length. There goes your length right there. There goes your length. So you do that enough, then you won't have length, and you'll say, well, my hair is not growing. But your hair is going from the scalp, but you're breaking it from the ends. So we got to stop that. So I'm not going to show y'all that much anymore because I'm going to show you how to get length. So I got to stop doing those kind of things to my own hair. Okay, with that being said, like I said, I'll see you on Saturday. If you're in Memphis, Tennessee, then I'll see you here. We can hold up to 100 people. So you want to get here early. It starts at 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. We'll have a little bit of snacks too, but it's going to be great. And we'll have people here to give their little testimony. And then if you're a professional stylist, and we will see you on Monday so that you can learn more about the Trichology program and really help you with some things with your clients. And if you are not in Memphis, we can stream live on both of those. So just go to my website, lisaakbari.com, or you can go to my YouTube page and it'll be right there. Thanks a lot, guys. I love you. To God be the glory in Jesus. That's not too bad. I'll see you next week right here. And actually, I'll see you too Saturday or Monday. I love you. Mwah. Have a great, wonderful evening, night, or morning.